Much better.
There we go.
Welcome back to that show. We are Understable Minds. My name's Anthony. We'll start with Danny this time.
Oh, man.
Across the table and to my right,
I was not ready for that.
we've got Mr. Danny Lindahl.
Oh boy, it's a lot of pressure.
To his right, pretty much straight across from me, is Mr. Eric McCabe.
How are we doing today, guys?
I'm doing wonderful.
Doing all right.
It's like
How about yourself?
60 something.
It's beautiful outside. Yesterday after work was like, I remember walking outside going,
It's dark.
well, that too. that as well, yes. But we did a kind of a little bit of a photo shoot, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Right? You were there.
Yeah.
For the
Oh, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah.
remember Danny?
Yeah, you were there at the course. We did a little picture thing, and I remember Anthony and I were talking afterwards. Like, man, why didn't we just bring our discs and just play? I saw the Cisco's did it, where I'm like, man, totally should have done that.
Yeah, much smarter people than you and I.
Facts, but I did play a lot of golf on Saturday, and my arm is very tired still. So I'm kind of glad I didn't play.
Yeah.
So Saturday was what, 2 rounds of 18 and then a round of 9. Like that's more golf than I've played in.
That's like a month.
2021.
Yeah. What about you, Danny? Did you get out for any disc golf?
I didn't know. This weekend I was painting cabinets and also myself.
Oh,
The goal was
You
to
just
paint
ran
the
out of-
cabinets, but I ended up painting
Okay,
myself.
I thought you were going to say you used your arm as like a paint roller.
It'd be an interesting
Maybe.
texture.
Yeah, there you go.
maybe that's a new thing.
It could be the
Creative.
new popcorn
The
ceiling.
straight
I
arm
like
hair
it.
just gets left in it, and that's
dig
like
it.
part of it.
I dig it.
That just encourages you to work faster so that the paint doesn't dry.
It's true, yeah.
Because then once it dries, your arm hairs
Just
are getting...
peel it off and it just rips all the hair out.
Yeah, exactly.
It works.
Let's see, I didn't play any disc golf this weekend, but I had a lot of disc golf action this weekend.
Ooh, do tell.
Saturday morning, myself, Eric, and a not currently announced team member. Is that a fair way to put it?
That is a fair way to put it.
Someone that will be newly added to the team after hearing this. It will be announced. Went out and played 9 holes over at Jones East.
Jones East.
I filmed that.
That was fun.
It was fun. And then the next day we went and walked. We can talk about this, right? This is public knowledge.
I don't know that it is, but we can talk about it. Let's break the news here.
If it's not breaking news alert.
I think it's getting leaked.
Breaking news alert.
I think it's getting leaked here and there. I think some people like in the Emporia area know about it because they see the whiskers everywhere. But
Yeah.
I think it's known. I think it's known.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
So we went and we walked and kind of, like you said, put whiskers in the ground and painted for the new course going in over at Jones Park.
Yes.
It will be, I'll let you talk about this, Eric. You kind of know a little bit more than I do.
Sure.
So kind of explain what's going on.
So last year we used Jones Gold for the first time, technically first time. We had used it in the past, but it was a different layout. This was more what we had used, I guess this year, not last year, still technically this year. The course that we had used was on existing holes is the best way to explain it. So
It was a safari course.
It was. That's a great way to put it. It was a safari layout that was kind of a little bit handcuffed maybe on the direction you can go and that kind of thing. So Doug approached me and said, hey, what if we did a whole new course at Jones Park?
A whole new course.
At Jones Park.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
That's how the song goes.
Yeah. That would be everybody's walk-up song.
It's the same melody
Just
forever.
over and over. Oh, man. No,
And then you flew around on a magic carpet and designed it from the sky.
Ooh.
Hey,
That would have been
do
sick.
you need a license
Yeah.
for that?
You don't.
Nice.
Remember when he
I
tried to
gotta
do it
get
for the
more
first
of
time?
those.
He like fell off it and yeah. So off
Anyways.
topic.
Sorry.
So Doug had approached me and asked me, hey, what about doing a whole new course that is not a safari layout? So like just use this as a blank slate, coming in and saying, hey, here's a piece of property that you could design a sick course on. Just go to town.
Do it.
So I have been spending lots of time on it, obviously, like from spring, like after DDO kind of is when I first started working on this. And we finally got a layout down and we're doing some work on it now. So it was Anthony, myself, Doug, and Adrian, who is our T-pad guy, our ground sleeve guy that goes out and installs all of our stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we walked it with him. We're doing some really cool things. We're doing some nice elevated tees, some elevated pins, a couple of them here and there, landscaping, cutting some new gaps out of trees, like out of the creek line to create gaps. I mean, it's It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it. I showed the map to you guys, I think, at one point. We kind of went over it, and it's kind of tough to tell until you actually walk the course. And Anthony, this was your first time actually walking the property, walking the course rather. And what was your impressions of like some of the holes? I know a lot of the communication throughout the day was, well, I'm never playing this beast.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, okay, so this is a par 4? All right, I'll play it as a par 5.
Yeah,
because this is not a par 4 for me. It is. Yeah, I think it will be considerably harder. I don't know if you've measured it, but I feel like it's going to be longer. Just walking it feels longer.
It will be longer. There's, I think I counted up. We were trying to count up the par 3s, and I think I counted up 7 par 3s. In total.
Okay.
This is the Mpo layout. Now the FPO layout is kind of in the mix as well. It'll have a couple of the same holes but different pars, kind of like we've done in the past, and then. Instead of doing different tees, we did some different pins here and then. There are a couple holes where we did utilize a couple tees. The reasoning behind that is we didn't want a short tee in the middle of the fairway that when the FPO are playing, that they're just kind of out on an island and there's just nothing around it. We want to dress up those tees as well. And it's aside from dressing up a tee nice and then mid-round moving that, it just doesn't make sense to do it that way. So some of the tees out there there's a couple of them that are going to be shorter, but mostly it's shorter pins. And I don't remember off the top of my head how many shorter pins we have. Probably like 7, 6.
That's about what I was guessing. Was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a ton.
But a lot of really cool water shots.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing I'm excited about is the elevation. There is some sick elevation out there.
Yeah, it feels brand new.
Yeah.
Where I don't think the only hole that has has been an existing hole is, what is it, 15?
16.
Okay, so
16.
16 is
current 18.
Current Jones Gold layout 18.
Yeah.
Or if you're familiar with Jones East, holes 7 and 8 kind of combined.
Yep.
That hole is still there.
Because it's such a good hole.
That was one of the 2 best holes there.
Yeah.
And everything else is brand new. There's some that use fairways that were in use before. There's some that play fairways backwards. There's some that play completely sideways. There's some that makes brand new.
There's some holes that you play from 1 hole to 3 holes later.
Right. Yeah, it is a monster.
It is.
I think it's going to be really cool, and I mean, I hope people like it. I think they will.
Oh, I agree 100%. And make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel, because as soon as this course is in the ground, I assume we're going to go out and play around on it and kind of introduce it, or maybe just do drone shots of it just to get the word out there about the course. And I'd love to go out there and film like a duel on it or just something cool like that.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of coverage out
and we're working. I mean, we're basically starting the progress soon, like here in the next couple weeks, I think is when we're hope to have everything just in, not like finalized and done with all the stuff we need to do. But there's a lot of work to be done, and we're excited about it.
That's got to be a fun thing too, to design a course like just for the top level. Like you don't have to worry about bailout zones or anything from like your average player that usually when you put it in a park. This is, you can just go all out.
Go all out. Exactly. You're exactly right. Like when I'm typically doing a park style of course, this is in a park. This is like a true champion gold course, but park style, which is what I'm excited about, because I know a lot of people, when they think of Kansas disc golf or Emporia disc golf for that matter, they just think, oh, it's just wide open hyzers. Everybody that's ever said that has never played the country club, because while the country club, there are big open hyzer shots, there's OB, there's wind, there's skips. There's so many variables that come into play out at the country club. It is not an easy course.
For sure. There's at this new course at Jones, there's holes where I forget if it was you or Doug or somebody said, like, specifically, we're going to put it here. So there's not just a wide open hyzer that just completely eliminates the kind of the thought of the hole or the design of the hole. You can't just go over the top of it, or you can't just go outside of everything.
There's a lot of shape shots out there.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of that. And I am super excited to watch players come and just either get their butt kicked or kick its butt.
I want to play it just to get my butt kicked. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's definitely going to kick my butt.
It'll kick everybody's butt at least once, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like how there's like a couple of the par 3s. I feel like I could get those.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some of the par threes where I will not get that.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to throw it in
Right.
to get a 2 on those holes. And there's some of the 4s are the same way. And I think there's only one par 5 that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And 5 would be a fantastic score for me.
Yeah.
It is
and that's the
very
thing.
long hole.
I don't think a championship course needs to have multiple par 5s on it. I think the biggest complaint about original Jones Gold was some of the par 4s were a little soft for that top professional level.
Right.
I don't think there's any on this course that are going to be called soft. I think there's a couple shorter par 4s that you may see a massive, massive shot get like an eagle look at it. But let's be honest, in golf, they have reachable par 4s. There are eagles for a reason. So
Eagles
I'm perfectly
exciting.
fine to have. Now, I don't want 3/4 of the field getting eagles on a hole. I think that kind of changes things a little bit, but I'm excited. I can't say enough good things about it. And the course isn't just long. It's long, but it's not just like, oh, let's just make this the longest course ever. You know, there's shots, there's landing zones, there's all that kind of variable in this course. So I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a really good mix and a really good variety. I think it'll be.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
I think it'll be really good. So one thing that I meant to address at the beginning of the show, and then we kind of got sidetracked a little bit, but it's okay. That's kind of our MO here.
That's kind of where the understability comes in.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's true.
That's sort of what we do. The big news as of recording announced yesterday morning is that Eric Oakley and Dynamic Discs will no longer be working together. I guess we'll put it. Eric has been on the team for 4 years.
4 or 5.
I think he joined in 2017. There's no bad blood there. It's not like we were dying to get rid of Eric. It's not like he was dying to leave.
No.
It just is kind of one of those. I think Eric said in his video that it was just kind of a business decision.
Yeah, it was. That's 100% what it was. It was just pure business on both ends.
Yep. So I know the 3 of us are still completely fine with him. Have no issues.
I reached out to him the other day, to have conversations with him about things, about what's going on and all that. And obviously this decision was made between the 2 parties like last week.
Right.
And yesterday was the day that we decided to kind of make the official announcement. So
yeah,
it's sad to see the guy go, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go give him a big hug next time I see him at the next tournament. Right. It's there was absolutely no bad blood. People online can twist it however they want. Right. But you could ask Eric himself. There's no bad blood here.
Right. Yeah, he said in his video.
Yeah. You'll see him here at the end of April. He'll be playing in the Dynamic Discs Open. You'll see him in August. It's not like he's not coming to Emporia. It's not like we're never going to Florida or, if there's somebody on his card, we're not going to follow them. There's nothing like that. We wish nothing but the best for Eric. And as far as I'm aware, he wishes nothing but the best for us. Just, like we said, just a business decision and it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It's gonna be weird not making practice round videos though anymore.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
They'll be a lot quieter now.
That is true, yeah. And then I made the video where we said goodbye to Eric, and I tried to include a clip from every year. I had 2018, his all felon in the bag. Yep. That was really funny. Where he's just like, these are my putting felons, these are my approach felons.
These are my felons.
Yeah, these are overstable ones. That was really funny. And then in 2019, he did an announcement for his Lucid X felons where I faked 2 aces in a row.
Oh, that's right. With him and Robert. Yeah.
That was really real. Cool. What?
That didn't go in? What the heck, dude?
No, yeah.
Everything's been a lie.
Movie magic, yeah.
But the last ace was real.
Yes. The last one of that video was from our felon only round. You were there.
Yeah. I was there.
On 16 at Jones East?
16 Jones East.
And then the one right before that, I don't know if anyone else found this as funny as we did, but this was just in the moment. We were cold out there filming.
Oh my gosh.
And this was a Disc Golf is Life sketch where Eric gets a coffee cup and he's like, I like the coffee cup, but it's just too new. And so he throws it against a tree like people do with discs. Some people do. And I had this 99-cent coffee cup. It was 99 cents from Walmart. I had like 2 of them and he threw it at this tree and the thing just disintegrated right away.
Exploded. Yeah.
Just it's gone. And we laughed for probably like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, a while there. Yeah. Just, it was hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So good times with Eric. looking forward to projects in the future.
Yeah, like Anthony kind of pressed on. It was a mutual decision, and we're all growing. We're all still friends,
Right.
and we're both excited about the future for both parties. So
yeah.
kind of as you alluded to earlier in the video at Jones, there's some pretty fun announcements coming soon too. So
yeah, we've got at least one person being added to the team, potentially more.
at least two.
I think. Okay, we've got two people.
At least two minimum.
People, right, two
Minimum.
people so far as of today. Plenty more potential possibilities and exciting things on the horizon for us. And like I said, hopefully some exciting things for Eric as well. Wish him nothing but the best.
Yep.
In more positive, well, I shouldn't say that. In other team news,
Other team news.
yeah, people that are and will be on the team next year. We had 3 players take down a win at the VPO this past weekend.
We did.
Holland Hanley.
Holland
Is that how
Hanley.
you pronounce it?
She's a new player to the team this year.
She's new to disc golf.
New to disc golf as well.
And
yeah,
really good.
And I believe she had an ultimate background, but she's a fantastic person. She's from Texas originally, but lives in it's either Arizona or California. I want to say California,
Okay.
but just this was her first tournament back in her home state, and she won. And VPO is awesome. It kind of has a special place in my heart, this event, because this was the first A tier I ever won as an
cool.
intermediate player.
Hey.
In the can anybody guess the year?
1860. Wait,
Like,
no.
like close. That's very, very close.
Let's see. So
okay,
the dinosaurs
I'm an
went
amateur.
extinct.
I was an amateur.
And you won Worlds in 2010.
And I turned pro in 2000. So
Oh.
I will say
98?
that's where I was thinking. Was
98?
I'll say 97.
97 it was.
Yeah.
1997. And the sad part about this is I've gone back to this event almost every single year with the exception of the last few years and played pro and got second place
Oh, no.
to 5 different people.
Oh, no.
These people are Avery Jenkins, lost in a playoff. Coda Hatfield, who won the tournament this last weekend. Nolan Greider, who is a
He's a
local
monster.
stud
Yeah.
hero. Barry Schultz, who is also local, or not local, but a stud. And then the 5th was, I can't remember
Danny
the 5th off the
Lindahl.
top
I was
of my
going to say,
head.
yeah, at least
but,
you're losing to people that
Yeah,
are
but
like-
second place, like that many times in a row, is
Is
just
this
like,
the one where
it's
you get your name on the
heartbreaking.
rock for it?
No,
No.
that one I have one. That's Piney Woods.
Oh, Piney
That's in
Woods.
Lindsay Park.
Gotcha.
But VPO, this is in Arlington, Texas.
is that the one where there's a basket that has like a big star?
the star and the massive Texas state flag on top of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
VPO is awesome. There's a lot of history there. I think it was the 41st annual,
Wow.
something like that. I
Jeez.
think it was 41st or maybe it was 31st. It was one of those two. Either way, it's been running for many, many years. And I've always, it always has had a special place in my heart because it was one of the first tournaments I traveled to. And it's just, the course is awesome. It's one of those Texas style courses and
Yeah.
a lot of history there. So
Yeah.
There's some good golfers in Texas,
there is
too.
some dang good golfers in Texas for sure.
Yeah. So we had Holland won FPO. Tony Shirley won MP40.
50 Yep.
Okay. And then A-Ray won MP60.
by a lot. A-Ray dominated the
He
field.
won it by 60.
He's
They
a bagger.
Named
Pretty
the
close.
division after him.
Yep.
Yep. Area is just one of the most positive guys you'll see on
He
the
really
course.
is.
Such a nice dude.
A-Ray's awesome. And Tony's a solid player as well. I'm not sure what his win margin was, but I know he did take the W down. It was pretty cool to see those 3 individuals
For sure.
win their respective divisions.
Tony probably took it because of the little heater on the cart trick we were talking about last week. I'd
that's right.
be willing to
It
bet.
wasn't that cold, but he brought it anyway just in case.
Why
Well, he
wouldn't you? Well,
pointed
it's
it at
Texas
other
cold.
people.
There you
It's
go.
Texas cold, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
60s are probably like 40s here. So
Freezing. All right. Before we get into our next topic, I want to go with one of these squad questions here. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but this one comes to us from Abel. He says, I don't know that it's a he. We'll say they. Abel says, given the choice of multiple T-pads or multiple pin placements to create varying layouts, which one do you prefer for 1, design, and 2, for personal play?
Can I give my input before you give like the official?
yeah, no,
Like,
I don't
the
know that there
correct
is an
answer?
official.
Well, the
but-
course designer
yeah,
answer.
no, yeah, absolutely.
I kind of would think that you'd want different T-pads because a green can be really interesting. You can have obstacles, you can have ways to attack it, and you would want that to be a consistent experience for everyone who plays the course. Right? You would want that if it's a tricky green and you have to access it from one side and you just put a different basket in, that takes that away. It could be a lot more boring from over there. I guess the exception would be if the tee pad is what's interesting about the hole, but
sure.
I think more often it's the green, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree with that. For me, I'd say both. Like there's nothing better than having, if somebody calls me for a course design and says, hey, here's a blank canvas, you go do whatever you want with it, I'm 100% going to say, okay, let's put in 2 tees and 2 pins on every single hole. Yeah. Now, by 2 pins, I just mean 2 pin placements. I don't mean actually 2 baskets. I'd prefer it to be short and longs, and then you can kind of move it, just have ground sleeves. But and here's the thing, it's a lot cheaper to do pins than it is tees because of how much inexpensive a ground sleeve is. I think they're like $10 a piece. So you can absolutely, and you can manufacture your own if you really wanted to. Yeah. But man, that's a tough one. For me personally, I think tees is the way to go just because you can put in a longer style of course and then you can take a beginner with you if there is short tees to utilize. As where if it's alternate pins, you may show up to the course and it's in, for instance, hole 4 at Peter Pan right now is in the long pin, which I absolutely love. Yeah. It's one of my favorite holes on that course. But if you're taking a beginner there, they're looking at that hole going, wait, where are we going?
I can't even see the basket. Yeah. They're going to throw 3 shots and still not be able to see.
So if there was a short tee on that, or maybe even a better example is hole 5 at Pan where there is 2 tees and that long tee is kind of a daunting shot across the creek that nobody ever gets in bounds on and they throw from the short tee anyway. Yeah. So I would say baskets are cheaper route to go, but I would prefer to have 2 tees, I think.
Yeah, I don't know that I can answer this question. I feel like it almost it almost depends on the hole. Yeah. Where like Danny was talking about, if you have a really cool, unique green, then you're going to want to utilize that no matter what. So then putting in a different tee pad where maybe you have a really cool tee shot and you want to put in a different pin. So I don't know that I look for one or the other. I don't know if I prefer one or the other, but I do like having the variety.
You're absolutely right though on the green aspect of it. If there is a great position between some trees or whatever it is, like we have that here where we have an alternate pin somewhere that it literally, like hole 9 Jones West, there's a left pin on that hole that's just a big massive hyzer shot. Honestly, that basket hasn't moved from those 3 trees in 20 years. So yeah, I 100% think that I think the tee is multiple tees is probably the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. I was dreading getting to this topic because I didn't really want to. Last week we discussed No Shave November. I put a poll in the Understable Minds Facebook group. If you're not in there already, you should join it. Go ahead and search Understable Minds on Facebook, join the group, and then you can participate in things like making us look like fools for the rest of the month.
Oh, apparently.
Potentially. Or Danny will ask a question every week. You can ask us questions. A lot of good stuff going on. We asked the people what they wanted to see. Us with facial hair.
Oh, that's right. This one.
Us without facial hair. Sadly for them, for Danny and I, it doesn't matter what they pick. We're going to look the same because our ability to grow facial hair is...
Well, technically, I'm going to look the same too because this is normal for me this time of year.
Eric already has the beard. Danny and I are going on 20 plus years and still...
I got to say, though, it's coming in nicely on both you guys.
I feel like Danny's is pretty good.
It's coming in upper lip and like on my chin, but on the cheeks, it's
I can
sparse.
see some on the cheeks.
It's sparse.
I can see a little bit. It's the blonde hair too.
I had to shave part of my neck because like when I would lower my head, it would poke into each other because it was going different directions.
Yeah. No, we do a full disclosure. We do kind of a hybrid version of No Shave November because we're not about to not shave our necks.
I have shaved nothing. By a score of basically 3-1. Wow. People wanted us to not shave.
That's insane. I did notice that your significant other, at least I didn't see yours on there if she voted or not, but I did see yours was very adamant about you shaving the whole month of November.
I back her decision, honestly. As someone with a currently very itchy neck and face, I agree with her.
My concern is like if at the end of November if there's enough hair on my upper lip, the mustache might come back.
I'm all for this, Danny.
I'm concerned about that because
I'm all for this.
It didn't look, and we come across videos that I made. We come across videos that I made back then, and we're like, oh yeah, we should probably redo these real quick, frequently.
Yeah.
And so, but I might just have to. Who knows?
Luckily, there's no video for this, so anytime we record the podcast, you're welcome to grow out the mustache.
I would say keep it through at least 2021.
Through the whole year?
Through the rest of this year. It's just an extra month.
I don't know. Then I have to go see my grandma.
That's fine. Your grandma would be like, oh, look at you, Danny boy.
I have
nice
the wax.
mustache.
I still have the mustache.
All right. There you go.
Yeah, see, I'm in a predicament. I have a friend, his wedding is...
Oh, I have a wedding as well.
Yeah, well, it's fine because you can grow facial hair. If you show up to a wedding with like a full beard, nobody says anything.
That's true. This is December. In the wedding I need to attend mine is Jonathan Nicholson, actually, one of our team members.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I've got one this month, and like, do I just not shave and then show up looking very dirty?
Do they make bald caps for faces?
Oh, maybe I can
just wear a mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll get like an oversized like
just
COVID
wear a mask,
and then nobody will even know that it's me.
There
and
you
it'll
go.
Be great. Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun. Let's see, we've got 22 days left of the month.
That's nothing. That is nothing.
If I didn't shave like the last week and a half of October, does that mean I can shave a week and a half before the end of November?
Good call. Good call. Yeah.
I
think our fans need to make that decision.
Well, judging by how the poll results went the first time, I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be.
Same.
Let's get one more question. This one comes from Mason, and it kind of piggybacks off of a question that we had last week about our biggest blunder or our biggest choke during a tournament. He wants to know, what is your greatest lapse of judgment surrounding competitive play this season, and what lessons can be drawn from it?
Dang, Flo.
If you guys don't have an answer, I have one that I can think of to give you time.
I competed in pretty much 0 tournaments this year, so I think I played in one. I think it was DDO was the only event I played in this year, so I don't really have...
Didn't you average like 1040 something?
I did. It was stupid.
So there was just no lapse of judgment.
For 2 rounds, too, because our first round was canceled.
There you go.
And my first round wasn't even 1,000 rated.
Really?
It was like 990 or 980 or something like that. And the second round was like 1060 or something like that. So it was like,
sounds about right. Yeah, this averages
That's
out.
Inconsistent golf. You go ahead if you've got one.
All right. Yeah, so mine was, we've talked about it on the show a little bit. I played in the Anthony Esquivel Memorial Tournaments a couple months ago now. And the first round was like brutal rain.
Oh, fun.
And I was on hole 7 Jones East, kind of a blind uphill par 4 into a landing zone, and then kind of into
the flagpole hole if people are familiar with Jones.
Yeah. And I was standing on the tee pad and I was trying to dry my disc off, and I couldn't get it. So I went back to my bag, grabbed a different disc, and it was a little bit wet. And I said, I'll dry it off, whatever. And it was raining so much that you take your disc out to dry it, and it's just immediately soaked again. And I went from a Fusion Raider to a Lucid Raider.
Ooh.
And I was standing on the tee pad, and I was trying to dry it off, and I just couldn't get it dry. I couldn't get my hand dry. I couldn't get a grip on it.
That's the worst.
And I was like, man, I can't go change my disc again. Like, I've already changed my disc once. I was standing there trying to dry it off, wasted 10 or 15 seconds, grabbed a new one, tried to dry it off, 10 or 15 seconds. Like, I'm getting close to my time. Like, I'm just going to chuck it, just get up there. And when I tell you that disc probably went 25 feet, like, it probably went 25 feet.
Oh, no.
And there's OB. Like, you have to clear about 80 feet of OB, right?
Yeah. I never in a million years was that ever clearing anything.
Oh, no.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah. I went through my run up, reached back, and probably before the disc even gets to my body, it's already falling out of my hand. And I threw it, and it was just like, I knew that was going to happen. Like,
so let me ask you, were you prepared for the rain that day, or was this late in the round where all your towels were already wet and your dirt bag or whatever whale sack was already just ruined for the round? Like, where are you at in the round if this happens?
Okay. So to answer both of your questions, the answer to both of them is yes.
Okay.
I thought I was plenty prepared. I brought, I think, 6 towels, put them all in like a Ziploc bag so that I can take one out and the rest of them are going to stay dry and it'll be great. I started the round on hole 3.
Okay.
I either started the round on hole 2 or 3, so we were not halfway through our round.
No, like 4 holes in.
Yeah, and I was already on, I think, my second to last towel.
Oh no!
It was
boy,
bad.
that rainy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, and that's like the fun stretch on that course.
Did you have a bag or like anything?
So I carried a Commander, and I closed.
No, I meant like your dirt bag or whale sack, that kind of thing. Not like did you just carry like a Fusion Raider and a Lucid Raider, and that was your discs?
Just put them in a Walmart sack and hit the course. Yeah. I think I had a whale sack, but it was. I mean, I could have had a million whale sacks and 1,000 towels. It just didn't matter. I tried the trick of like put your disc under your shirt while you're waiting to throw so that it doesn't get wet. And in the amount of time that you take it from out of your shirt to like going to throw, it was pouring rain.
Just do the Raincoat Ricky strategy. Just full yeet.
And just go.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you have an umbrella?
I did. I had an umbrella. I had a
towel
rain jacket.
in the umbrella?
I had no.
That's what I always have done.
There's so
hang
many
a towel,
that stuff like this.
and then climber's chalk, bro.
I thought
go
I was
buy
prepared,
a brick of chalk, break it up, and put it in a bag. Try not to get pulled over on the way to the course. But climber's chalk, I'm telling you, for years of playing in the rain, it has saved my life.
Really?
No matter how wet the disc is, I also have not a squeegee, like not a full on squeegee, but what are the towels I'm thinking of? Like a
chamois?
The quick dry
chamois,
ones?
yeah, like a chamois. I think
I don't know.
they have a weird like
Microfiber?
consistency to it. No, it's like a chamois. Like I think that's what I'm trying to say. But either way, it's a towel that you just wipe it off, and it's still like some tackiness, but it's wet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just slap that whale sack or dirt bag on there with the climber's chalk. You look like LeBron James when you throw because of the powder goes everywhere, but you have full
style
grip.
points.
Do it. Next time you play in the rain, which is probably never going to happen.
If I have anything to say about it, I will not be playing in that much rain.
Was playing in the rain.
That's right.
That was
That's right.
miserable. So yeah, I guess what I learned from it is be more prepared, and then just don't throw lucid discs in pouring rain, or just prepare for it properly and actually switch my disc back out. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, there's no shame in, I don't care, turn around and go do it the third or fourth time. You get a little bit extra time.
I should have.
People are going to be gracious.
Yeah, for when it's raining like that. That's why those rain rounds take forever.
Yeah.
So the only... I played a couple of tournaments, but I also played in match play doubles, the finals that were here in Emporia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I played with Lance, and we ended up not getting a bye on the first round, so we were playing on pace to play 3 entire rounds of 18 out at Jones Park on like a 100-degree day.
Ooh.
And I brought plenty of water, but what I didn't account for is I'm just not in shape to do that.
That's a lot of golf.
Yeah, that's a lot of walking. I have a desk job, and I don't generally do many things, so... Yeah, I just was not in shape to do that, and I thought I was. So
brutal.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest lapse of judgment. We ended up just like calling it out like 13 holes in of the third round. We were just like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Yeah, can't say I blame you there.
All right, Danny, were you able to think of one? Eric?
I don't think I really have one.
All right,
that I can think of from this year.
Just
must be nice.
Make no mistakes.
Just don't play disc golf, and then you won't have any things like that.
It's the Dynamic Discs podcast. Don't play disc golf.
It's impossible to have a bad round if you don't have a round.
That's a fact. No, I did have a bad round at the DDO. Well, bad's all relative, right? I mean, it depends on what bad is for who and what not. But
40 points below your rating.
Yeah, it was 40 points below my rating, but then my next round was like 40 points above my rating.
Yeah,
so
that's what you learn. Just if you play bad, play that much better next time.
There you go. Facts. If you suck the first round, you better kill it.
Yeah, if you throw your disc and it didn't go in the basket, then just throw it in the basket instead.
Yeah, and we played night and day different courses that week. We played, since we only got to play 2, we played Cottonwood Falls.
Okay.
And then we played Jones Gold. And I had the hot round by a few strokes at Jones Gold.
Wow.
So,
right.
Crazy.
Danny, let's get into your Facebook question of the week.
Okay, so the Facebook question this week is, there's a theme song?
I feel like there should be some sort of
I think we just nailed it.
All right, cool. It's interrupted by asking if there's a theme song. That's part of the theme song. I'm here for this. Okay.
Is that the question for next week?
Yep.
Just wait, there's a theme song?
Wait, there's a theme song?
So the question on Facebook is, what's a gimmick you'd like to see on course design at your local course or on the Pro Tour? And I feel like gimmick might have a bad rap as like a word because people tend to think gimmicks are bad, but gimmicks can be good too. They can be like a feature almost, like a consistent feature as a way to make something interesting. And this is not necessarily for pure competitive play. It could also be something that you think would be fun. Maybe it is less competitive, but it is a lot more fun. And so that's why I also included like local course in there. So we started pretty tame. Eric said more raised or hanging baskets. I feel like there was a lot of criticism from too many raised baskets on the Pro Tour this year.
To be clear, this is not Eric McCabe.
Yeah, this is a different Eric. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the DGPT, what they have 2 or 3 raised baskets. Because of their
Each
little,
event?
their
pyramid things.
Their pyramid thing that they do.
Yeah, it's
They come in
at least that many.
at least 3.
Yeah.
It's a few. But yeah, I feel like
I'm great with elevated baskets. I
Yeah.
think hanging baskets maybe that's a
the problem
bit
with
too
hanging
much.
baskets is they swing.
Yeah, you have to somehow stable them to the ground.
They look really cool though.
They do.
Like they look super interesting. They're fun.
Now if this question could be just for on your home course.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on the Pro Tour. So your home course, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for some hanging baskets.
For sure. Wyatt had the opposite idea. He said lowered baskets, which is like, I don't know if he meant like a foot lower or like way lower because
like in the ground.
Yeah. Well, isn't the course they play for Memorial, is it Fountain Hills that has like every basket's at a different height just by a little bit?
Probably.
I don't know if that's on purpose. I think that's
That's a
just
good
done.
point.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the design. Like some are
I
like
really don't
knee
think it
height,
is.
some are like a little bit higher than normal. It kind of changes them, and I thought that was really interesting. But also, I don't know. I saw it somewhere else. Somebody posted a picture of it. But at Ben Guerin in Fort Smith, Arkansas, there's a hole that has like a mound, like a hill that's part of it, and the basket is actually like set in it. So the top rim of the basket is level with the ground. So you could hypothetically just slide your disc across the ground into the basket.
Yeah, there's one of those at the
RV park.
RV
right?
park.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
It wasn't installed properly though. Whoever installed it, because if it rains, it's full of water.
Oh,
in which you're OB. So, man,
aced it, but you're OB. So you take a circle two.
Yeah.
All right, weird. Anyways, I thought that was interesting.
stroke.
Again, like a fun thing, but not necessarily like a competitive thing.
Sure.
Because you might like hit a pebble or something while it's sliding and kick out, whereas somebody else goes in. Phil is getting a little bit aggressive. He said 6 to 8 foot deep traps. I'm hoping he doesn't mean with like spikes on the bottom.
Traps. Oh,
Yeah.
he's talking about sand traps.
Okay.
Is what I'm guessing that means. I'm guessing sand traps.
I was assuming like the pits you find in jungles that like catch animals or whatever, covered
like
with
in
leaves.
Pitfall when you fall in the with the alligators and
you fall in. There's like spike. That's a bit brutal. Probably not a good idea for your local course.
Probably not. I think he's talking sand traps, which I agree. I think sand traps are awesome.
I think sand traps kind of provide their own challenge because of the footing.
Yeah.
So
well, here's the thing with sand traps. I love the idea of installing sand traps on courses. I don't like how they've been implemented so far where they're 2 feet from a basket that sits on a hill and it's a hazard. So if you throw in there, you're OB. I love putting them in areas that on like par 4s, par 5s, where a lot of the average shots are going to be landing, tee shots. And then you got awkward footing that you have to throw this like 380 foot approach with no footing.
So like it's not a full stroke penalty.
What is it?
Preserve?
The Preserve has those. Yeah.
It's not a full stroke penalty. It's just difficulty.
Yeah. It's just awkward footing.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I would love to implement something like that.
Patricia, who actually works here, suggested trampolines. There's a course in North Carolina that has a trampoline. I think it's on like the dog leg.
Yeah. Like a bank shot.
Yeah. So you're trying to hit the trampoline and it bounces you down there.
That's kind of cool.
That's a crazy cool idea.
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Or alternatively, like a hanging basket really high. And so if you're on the green, you're on the trampoline and you bounce up to be able to throw your putt. I'd have to provide some sort of exemption rules or something. I don't know. Maybe your mini bounces up too, so it's not a football.
Good call.
There you go.
I like that. Yeah, I like it.
Dave just said more Mandos, which could make courses more interesting. You can take a wide open course and make it a little bit more technical.
Yeah.
If you add Mandos, but also they're kind of boring compared to what else you could do.
True.
Generally, Mandos are used for safety, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah, typically. Now, I played a tournament in La Mirada one year where it was an 18-hole course, and we had 23 Mandos on the course.
Wow.
We renamed it La Mirando.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But out there, you need that kind of thing with safety. You know, I mean, some of them were kind of ridiculous, but
how do you feel about them not used for safety, just to make, like, if there was a really cool, I don't know, tunnel shot or something, but everybody's just throwing a big hyzer?
I'm all for that.
Just putting a Mando there so people don't throw the big hyzer, or you want people to be able
for that. I'm for that for like a tour reason. I just don't. If there's a sick tunnel shot that this is how the hole's made to be played, that's how I would rather the hole be played.
Yeah, so
I'm okay with a Mando on that.
Yeah,
like
I definitely agree.
We talked about putting a Mando at our course, not just because people are going to throw over the top, but there's a parking lot on the other side, so that's kind of where the safety comes into play.
Yeah. Okay. And then Jeremiah said that on his course, one of the biggest hazards is aggressive geese. And he thinks it would be interesting to see pros try to play with geese like coming after him.
The Memorial, we used to have to do this at the little golf course that they had there. Remember that golf course that they used like 2 or 3 years in a row?
Yeah.
It was a shorter course. It was like only 1 or 2 par 4s on it. It wasn't. The layout was okay. It wasn't anything special, but there was definitely angry geese on that course.
Just like a territorial and aggressive.
With babies and eggs and all that.
There's a ton of them at the fountain too.
There's some at Country Club. There's one every year that has an egg that it just sits on and like.
Oh yeah, there was some on the island hole.
Yeah,
right behind the wall. There was like a geese nest, and he was just sitting there. And, meanwhile, the wall's getting pelted by discs. And just
that's a hazard though. Trying to throw while a geese coming at you, like.
Yeah, that's not something I want.
Well, a geese? Yeah, okay.
A geese? A goose?
I can English. It's only my job. It's fine.
A bunch of geese. How about that?
They're
gaggle?
Coordinated. A gaggle, yeah.
A gaggle of geese.
Yeah.
Perhaps a goblin.
A goblin.
A goblin of geese.
A murder of crows.
I was trying to think of Gosling.
Oh.
Like Ryan?
Like Ryan?
Mm-hmm. He's just there.
A bunch of Ryan Goslings running at you?
Commanding them. He's
my gosh.
I think I'd rather have one goose coming at me.
Than Ryan Gosling?
I've never met him, but I feel like he's way bigger and stronger than a goose. Yeah.
Could be aggressive. Yeah.
It could absolutely be aggressive.
That's true.
It's interesting to me that people seem to be so adamantly against elevated baskets.
I think if an elevated basket is done right, they're awesome.
My thing is an elevated basket. Some people are fine with it. Some people like it. Some people hate it. But if a basket's just on top of a mound of grass, no one says anything.
How is that any different?
Right.
Yeah.
There's just not that mound of grass.
It's just free risk reward.
Well, there's no regulations on basket height, and until there is,
right, within reason, it shouldn't be insane. Like we were talking about the RV park. There's one that's about 75 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
That's too much.
Yeah,
especially for the pro tour level. For just a fun little course to go, take somebody for their first time.
It'd be different if it was built up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like pyramid schemes type of stuff. Like the one at Chase is almost borderline too high, and I designed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm never running that putt.
Yeah. I did at DDO. That was my regret. We'll go back a couple questions.
Whoops.
It's like if you have a hole that's pretty straightforward and you add an elevated basket, there's that much more risk reward.
Mm-hmm.
If there's already risk reward on a hole and it's really challenging, and then you put an elevated basket,
sure,
I can see that being too much, but maybe not at the pro level because that's what it's for.
Yeah, right. So, I'm fine with like 2 to 3 well done elevated baskets, not like just a long pole. It's got to look good. It's got to look clean.
Right. We've got.
What about you? Is there any gimmicks that you have before we move on? Because there was one that I've seen on courses that I'd like to implement that.
Nothing I can think of. I mean, as long as it's not like cartoon mini golf,
right?
I don't really mind
windmills, that windmill or.
Yeah, I don't love the USDGC poles, but I also don't hate it. Yeah. If it was a thing where.
So bringing up the USDGC poles, that was the one gimmick, I guess we'll call it, since we're calling them gimmicks.
Yeah, it's
that I would like to implement on a course, but not in the same way that they did. I kind of think we talked a little bit about this. Like, if you have a tree on a course that dies and it was like, wow, now this hole's just super easy. There's nothing. It's just wide open. I'm all for putting a couple, 2 or 3 of those poles in there and then wrapping them with something just so it's like an obstacle. The same obstacle. I do not like them being 10 feet from a tee pad. I do not like them being 10 feet from a basket. But in the middle of a fairway that you have to avoid it, I'm okay with that. Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think
a cheaper tree.
Right.
It'll last
And
longer.
quicker to deploy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My preference would be do that and then plant a tree right behind it and kind of use that as like a support and also a way to protect the tree so that once the tree grows in to be a certain size and
you can take the poles out.
Right. You can take the poles out.
I'm fine with that.
And it's just kind of like I don't know how long it takes a tree, like a 5-year kind of band-aid
the ones
or something.
Pan took like 4 to 5 and those things are huge.
And they're fine size now.
They're massive. Have you been out there lately?
Yes.
Dude.
I hit them.
I bet you did.
Okay, so then what are the other ones you've got, Eric?
The only other one that I would love to implement more was who was it? Phil? Did you say had the suggestion of the sand traps?
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I think that would be a pretty cool add to middle of fairways. Not every hole, I don't think anything like that, but I love the idea of awkward footing on a hole that is a not a penalty stroke, but it's just you have to be aware of it.
So kind of like golf rules rather than like USDGC bunkers.
Yeah. So with golf, if they golf, if they hit into a bunker, they can't ground their club. They can't, when they're lining up their shot, they can't put their club in the sand. Mm-hmm. They have to address the ball and then hit. They can't ground the club. So having rules like that, I think, would make sense because having it just be OB, kind of like Vegas comes to mind, how 90%, I guess I'm probably over exaggerating. The last time I was there, 80% of the holes were on a mound with
a lot of them.
A bunker underneath it that is hazard. So if you hit and roll away, you're taking a stroke penalty and now you got to hit this putt. I just don't really care for the bunker rule of it being, and I'm okay, I guess, if you do that occasionally, but I would rather see them in the middle of fairways, I think, for awkward footing, just because having to throw a standstill 300-foot shot is not easy.
Yeah.
So
would that be the rule? Like if you're in the sand trap, you can't run up?
No, I think you can run up all day long if you want. It's just going to make things harder depending on what kind of sand you have in there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I agree.
I don't know that I've ever thrown from sand. I feel like it would not be easy.
Exactly. That's my point.
And it's not
you shouldn't
awkward
be double
enough.
penalized if you're throwing in there.
Sure.
You know?
That's true.
It's not awkward enough that people are going to get injured. It's not like a rocky surface or something. It's just unsteady.
Yeah.
And if you're in there, you can throw a standstill. You can throw a standstill forehand shot out if you want. I just think having it on like a par 4 at like, 400 to 430, have a 30-foot big whatever bunker that a lot of players are going to throw into, that you have to decide off the tee, am I going to lay up short of that bunker or am I going to try to carry the bunker?
Are you
that kind of thing?
Because in golf, the bunkers are usually kind of in the ground. So there's kind of like a wall in front of
like
you that you have to get up and over. Yeah. I mean, are you thinking do that for the disc golf too? So that there's like I think it would have to be higher. It would have to be probably 4 or 5 feet high to kind of force the player to throw over that.
I think you could do both. I don't necessarily think you want to have a ladder to get out of it or anything like that. Obviously be the front side of it, but I think both would be kind of cool. It depends on where it is on the course. Like if it's closer to the green, then maybe have a higher lip that you have to work with through a putt. But if it's in the fairway, just having the awkward run up would be enough.
Interesting.
I think that could be really interesting. Yeah.
I like that. I would love to try it. Let's go start digging.
Let's do it.
Hole 2 at this new course. There's a 6 spot for a fairway bunker.
You could fit a couple of them in there.
Oh man.
We've got a couple more questions from the squad before we get out of here. We've got one that I think is kind of interesting. This one comes from Gabe, not our Gabe.
Oh,
a different Gabe.
Okay.
He wants to know, who do we think is going to the Super Bowl this year?
Ooh. Oh.
Unfortunately,
none of our teams.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
I don't know. Oh man, that's a good
question. I made some really good soup last night, so I'm going to have a Super Bowl tonight.
Probably chicken noodle.
Cool. Probably. Was it out of a can?
Maybe.
Super Bowl predictions. You want to go first? How about you pick one team first, and then I'll pick a team, then you pick the other team.
Okay. Danny just doesn't get to pick.
No,
I'm good.
Danny's got his chicken, and he's got noodle.
And he's good to go.
Probably a spoon somewhere in the mix.
Yeah.
I just drink it out the side of the bowl.
like a big straw, or do you just tip it like
Just tip
when
it.
you kind of get that last little bit of ice cream?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm
I just do it when
interested.
it's full, so like it pours down myself a little bit. It's an experience.
Okay.
Is that like just a little for Tracer? You can, I spilled a
Yeah.
little bit. Tracer, come on.
Yeah.
Here you go. Some tomato soup right here for you. Yeah, I don't know. If you had asked me this last week, I would have said the Bills would be my pick for the AFC. But
Then what happened?
they just lost to the Jaguars, who are probably the worst team in,
Who
well,
just won their second game of the
right,
year?
I would say they're probably the second worst team in the NFL. So it's kind of hard.
I also last week would have picked Tennessee with Derrick Henry.
Right.
Now they signed a senior citizen to their team. I'm just kidding. I joke.
That's a Hall of Famer senior citizen.
He
to
is
you,
absolutely.
sir.
He absolutely is. I heard he turned down Dancing for the Stars or whatever that
Dancing
show
with the
is.
Stars, yeah.
To do
I
this.
just Googled it. The Packers are doing well. I want the Packers to go.
The Packers are doing well. They just lost.
They just lost to the Chiefs, so
They just lost to the Chiefs,
and
but
and
they lost without Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers' future at
Yeah.
this season is kind of in question too.
There's,
So
yeah,
can
there's some
dream.
question marks there.
I've got family in Wisconsin, in Eau Claire, and my mom's from Wisconsin, so I've always got a soft spot for the Packers.
definitely.
Gross.
That's how I pick.
All right, so
my
who's your
football team.
NFC team?
I think the NFC is harder. I think there's
I think the AFC is harder because I think there's so many solid teams in the AFC. I think there's only a couple
I can give
NFC
you
teams.
4 right now that could easily make the Super Bowl from the
NFC teams?
NFC. Yes.
Okay, let's hear them.
I think the Cardinals, I think the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Packers.
I agree with 3 of those.
Which one do you not agree with?
I don't think the Packers are going to the Super Bowl.
I don't either. I think they'll lose the NFC Championship game because that's what Aaron Rodgers does.
Yeah.
It's just a matter
to
of
Tom Brady.
who are they going to lose to? Right. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. It's hard because I think it'd be cool for the Rams to go just for Matthew Stafford because
Sure.
he's just gotten the crap kicked out of him in Detroit for the last however many years.
Career.
Right. But I also don't like the kind of super team thing that they're doing. I didn't like it in the NBA. It just, I don't know, when it's just like, hey, we're going to take a bunch of really good players and sign all of them.
Yeah.
And I guess the Buccaneers are doing the same thing, sort of.
I think Cardinals is.
I'll say the Cardinals just for my hope. I think they're the third best of those 4 teams.
Yeah. I think it's between Tampa Bay and the Cardinals personally.
Really?
I think it's those 2. Who was the other team that you said? Rams, which the Rams are solid.
The Rams are really good.
Didn't they play last night? No. They played Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I guess, even the Cowboys too. Gosh, the Cowboys are having a really good season as well.
Butt kicked by Denver.
Right. This past weekend was weird.
It was
for football.
weird. It really was. But you're right. Buffalo was a pick throughout the. They've just looked solid, but I just think losing to Jackson, they just haven't looked. And here's the problem. I hate to say this, but Josh Allen needs to be a little more casual, I guess, or not as casual when he runs.
Yeah, come on, Josh.
Because he's going to get hurt. Dude's going to get hurt.
Okay, but how cool was it that Josh Allen
Intercepted Josh Allen
and intercepted Josh Allen?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I saw a thing where they were both picked the same pick of the same round in the NFL draft.
Yep.
It's the first time there's ever been.
Because the original Josh Allen pick, they thought they were getting the quarterback.
They took the wrong one.
Yes.
Dang it.
You just got it backwards.
Well, this guy can't throw it all, but man, he'd make a great defensive end. Okay, so then who is your AFC pick? Are you just going to be a homer and go with the Chiefs?
I'm not. So when I'm wrong, I'm excited.
There you go.
Because let's face it, the Chiefs have as many losses this year as they did all last year.
They've got their
and
work
the year
cut out for
before.
them. They've got
combined.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I am a little bit of a homer in the fact that I think that the Chiefs could still win the AFC West.
It's possible.
I believe that they still can.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as they play, here's the thing: all 4 of the Chiefs' losses this year have been to playoff contenders. All 4 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
So who was it? The
Bills?
Packers, the Bills.
No, they beat the Bills. They beat the Packers.
They beat the Packers.
It was Buffalo, Tennessee, Baltimore, and who was their other? They had one more loss. Chargers. That was their 4 losses this year. So
all good teams.
yeah, all solid potential playoff teams.
All first in their division teams.
Exactly. So I think it does come down to either a Baltimore. I think Baltimore could go to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah?
Yeah. They didn't look exceptionally well against Minnesota, but I still think Buffalo has a shot. I really do. I think Bills, Rams.
Okay.
Bills, Rams.
That'd be crazy.
That's a really good... I think that's probably like the odds-on favorite. I'm going to say Cardinals, Titans.
Ooh, Titans. Okay.
Because they'll get Derrick Henry back, or he's supposed to come back like right around when the playoffs start.
Yeah.
So I think if they can kind of maintain... I think they've got their division pretty well locked up. They've got a soft division, and the only other team that's really quality in their division is the Colts, and they've already beat them twice.
Yeah.
So I think...
I think it was somebody. Was it the Bills tweeted out? The Bills official? Somebody tweeted out that, it's nice to have a bye month because they had a bye game, and then they played the Dolphins, and then they played Jacksonville, and then they played the Patriots, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
Is who their next 4 weeks are. And then Jacksonville went back and they retweeted it or quote tweeted it and said something. I thought it was comical.
That's hilarious.
But
so yeah, I'll say Tennessee, Arizona.
Good picks. Good pick. Danny, do you want to throw any two teams in there?
No.
Okay.
The Packers and
Vikings.
Okay.
That could be the NFC Championship.
that could be.
Packers, and it doesn't friggin' matter, dude. They're going to beat anybody. All right. We've got time for one more question. This one comes to us from Casey. And Casey wants to know, you get 3 items on your road trip from a gas station. What are you picking? You get 1 sweet, 1 salty, and 1 drink.
Reese Cups, the cheddar or the cheese flavored Chex Mix, because it's like it's more filling than chips, and there's like a decent amount of mass there. And then either Dr. Pepper or Arizona tea, because Arizona tea, bang for the buck.
Oh yeah,
that's the
you
move.
get that big can for like 99 cents.
But if it's a long road trip and some caffeine, you don't want to have to pee right away. That Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Let's see. So I'm not a big sweets guy. I have 2 answers for the salty. I really like beef jerky.
Beef
and
jerky
I really
is
like
good.
sunflower seeds. As far as sweet, probably just some sort of candy bar, Twix, Butterfinger, something like that. And then for the drink, 9 times out of 10, I'm going with like a big water bottle. Just kind of keep me hydrated, keep me going. But like Danny said, if it's late at night, you're getting way up there in the hours. I'll get some sort of like an energy drink, something with some caffeine, something to kind of keep me awake, or maybe just coffee.
Okay. So for me, it depends on the time of year for the drink. If it's cold, coffee all day. Like I love just sipping on coffee. Or I'm really like a hydrate kind of guy when it comes to road tripping. So water, I'm good with water.
Yep.
Sweet, Albanese gummy bears or gummy worms.
Is that the one with like the gold packaging?
It's this one.
Okay.
Have you seen those?
It's white. There's
With
like a red stripe.
Yeah. And they are, well, one, they're gluten free for Denise when she's road tripping with me too, but they are my absolute favorite. Like I think they are the best gummy bear or gummy worm that you can purchase. The other one, what's the other one? It's not Hasbro. It's
Haribo? Haribo, yeah.
Those are awful. I make a statement right now. Those are the worst gummy bears I've ever had in my life.
Sugar-free ones?
They're like crunchy.
Ew, really?
Yeah, they're awful. Don't get them.
Yikes.
Savory treat would probably be beef jerky. Some kind of jerky.
Jerky's good, but it's so expensive.
It is so expensive.
That's the statement we should make.
Hook us up, Garrett.
Double G. Let's work on these beef jerky prices.
Yeah.
Not specifically
How about
yours,
just a Understable Minds run of beef jerky?
There we go.
As long as we get it for free, like I'm down.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Come on.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right.
Super hot and spicy, right?
I'm down, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think we all like spicy stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, sweet.
We're in.
Hot and spicy Double G Craft Jerky Understable Minds Edition.
Coming soon. Make sure you
Very
tag
soon.
Garrett Guthrie on Facebook and tell him that we need this.
That's all the time we've got for this week's episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you haven't, be sure to, like I said, join the Facebook group. as well as if you're not a part of the Dynamic Discs squad, as you heard, that's a way to get your questions answered as well. Leave us a rating, a review.
5 stars.
Wherever it is that you're listening to our show.
3 stars, if there's only 3.
Yeah, as many stars as possible.
All the stars.
I think that's encouraged. That's it. That's all we've got. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you all next week.
Remember, you can't go home.